One thing about logistic regression is that it's computationally intense, especially if you throw in mixed effects, and it can be very slow to run. It can also result in errors such as failure to converge or Hessian matrix problems. So I want to give some tips on how to address these issues. A lot of these can be avoided before running any analysis. For example, if you have continuous variables, you need to standardize them. Models with standardized variables are more likely to converge than models that don't have them. And in Jamovi, it's just a matter of choosing standardized under covariate scaling. Another thing that people often do is convert continuous variables into categorical variables. It's better to keep continuous variables as continuous variables since they use fewer parameters and they're less likely to not converge than categorical variables. Make sure that only your relevant interactions are chosen. Lots of interactions in a model slows runtime. Now, Jamovi automatically includes all interactions, so before starting an analysis, choose only the interactions that you're interested in. When you've got a categorical variable, it's best to set the reference level of that variable to a value that has a large number of instances because errors are more likely to occur with reference levels that have small numbers of instances. In Jamovi binomial regression, this is a simple thing to do using a drop-down menu. In Jamovi linear models, the drop-down menu isn't available and the alphabetically first value is chosen as the reference value. So if you want to modify a value so that it appears first, for example, if you wanted to use the value sonorant as the reference value, you could rename it A sonorant so that it appears first alphabetically. Another thing I suggest is running a model with random effects only. This is an example of how it's done in Jamovi. Notice that there are no fixed effects specified. When you do this, any error messages you get are due to the random effects. So what causes errors? In general, it has to do with complex models that have many variables or many values in a variable. So what you need to do is simplify the model. You can't just simplify the model to eliminate errors. You've got to have a justifiable reason for doing so. And that must be justifiable based on the data and the hypothesis that you're testing. One way of simplifying the model is by eliminating irrelevant interactions. That's the first place to start. Second, eliminating variables that are irrelevant. Another way to simplify the model is to combine the values in a single variable. So as an example, let's consider combining all distinct nasal vowels into a single value nasal vowel. This is done in Jamovi by highlighting the column that you want to transform, choosing data and then transform, and a new column is created. Then choose using transform and create new transformation. It's always a good idea to rename transform1 into a variable such as combine nasal vowels that makes more sense. Then click on Add Recode Condition and click on the double equal sign and choose double equal sign. Then recode nasal O to nasal vowel and be sure to use the single quotes. Then add recode conditions for all other vowels. And the last condition says leave all other variables that haven't been specified unchanged. Another way to simplify the model is to combine variables. For example, in one study I had stress and phone and the interaction between stress and phone, and it gave me this error. However, I made a new variable by combining phone and stress into a single variable, and that error was eliminated.